Good morning everyone. Today is a day 22 React.js. So starting with managing state. In this lecture we are going to learn more about the state and how state is working and actual uh, autonomy of the state. Let's start with this. Managing state is an intermediate level of knowledge. If you have basic knowledge of props, hooks, and components, then you can continue with this lecture, and that's amazing for you. I will give you good knowledge and try my best. Okay, as your application grows, okay, it helps to be more inter- intentional about how your state is organized and how the data flow between your components. Okay, redundant or duplicate state is common source of bugs. Okay, redundant states and duplicate state. Okay, redundant means what? It's a duplicate. Okay, it's a synonym of both. Okay, it is the basic bugs that developers getting at the time of development. Okay, in this chapter you will learn uh, let me close the pen here. Basically today we are going to start with here. Okay, okay, reacting to input with state. React provide a declarative way to manipulate the UI. Okay, what does declarative mean? It's mean that you can declare your variable and the UI will changes on that. Like the user input is 1, you can addition, user input is 2, that's in subtraction. In this kind of, it's a basic example that I have given you. On the basis of user interaction, the UI is changing. It's a declarative way. Okay, instead of manipulating individual pieces of UI directly, you describe a different state on your component can be in and switch between them in response to the user input. Okay, this is similar how a designer think about the UI, like how thing is going like for this application in front of you, it's a documentation application. Here is like learn reference community blog. Here's a learn means what? You got a knowledge about the learning, whatever the content is here. Here's a reference. The data is coming from where? Okay. The community, the all the learners like you come here and talk about this application, and the blog. The new versions, new updates. Want to connect with the user. It's came here and blogging kind of, and this all are the basic, and it is a GitHub repository where the markdown uh, code is written, where it's on the GitHub. All the things is in front of you about this application, and this is a basic logo. If you click on this, it's tell you more versions about this application and this documentation. It is a search bar. If you want to search any keyword like hook, state, or props, you can directly go there from here. Like this navigation bar indicates you the how you are going to navigate from one page to another on the basis of the user interaction. It's just changing the what? It's just manipulating the single variable, not the state. Like if I am talking about this, if I am talking about this navigation bar, here is a topics and their subtopics. This is the major topics and this all are the subtopics. Okay, when you're clicking here, it's showing you the page with new updates. It's not refreshing the whole window, I mean whole application. It's just changing the content area, like this body part. It's only changing this content area, and this thing is happening with the help of states. Okay, this is the difference, how you work with state and how you directly changing the user interaction by changing the pages. If you don't want to change the page, you're required to use the simple click kind of things and routes. And if you don't want to change the page, if you want to show the single page only, then you are usually using the state at the time and efficient way, like how users interacting with the how user gives input as a reacting. Okay, so moving forward and learn in the depth how thing is working here. What we are going to learn here, like how declarative UI programming differs from interactive UI programming. Okay, now how to enumerate the different visual state your component can be in, how to trigger the changes between different visual state of from code. Okay, first start with how declarative UI component to imperative. Okay, let's say when you design UI interaction, you probably think about how UI changes in response of user action. Okay, as a UI UX designer, they generally think about this: how user is going to act at this time. Okay, whenever you start creating your own application for users, at that time you should aware about it, and you will understand the things properly. Actually, for the basic developers, though learning about the application, they don't have the user interface initially. They all are thinking, they are self engineers. They are engineer from scratch to the till at the users expect. So that's your role, like how the thing is working when users come to your application, and thinking about all the components and the navigation bar and all the footers on the side nav on the bottom, or all this thing. So when you type something into form, the submit button becomes enabled. Yes, when you press submit button, both forms and button become disabled and spinner appears, like this kind of things. Okay, loading kind of things. Okay, if the network request succeeds, the gets hidden and thank you message appears. Okay, if the network request fail, an error message appear and form becomes unable again. This is the basic criteria for any form submission part. Like it can be a login page, sign up page, or bank account login, or any kind of the login authentication kind of things. Okay, in imperative programming, the above components directly to how you implement interaction. You have to write the extra instructions manipulation to the UI depending on what just happened. And here's another way to think about this. Imagine riding next to someone in a car and telling them about turn by turn, where to go. Turn by turn is meant taking a route, U-turn kind of thing, or it's a turn by turn. Okay. They don't know how where you want to go. They just follow the command. If you get the direction wrong, you end up with wrong place. That's it's reality. Like if you get wrong direction, you will end up with wrong place. Okay, it's called impurative. Impurity. Okay, impurative because you have the command each element from the spinner to the button telling the computer how to update the UI. In this example of interactive UI programming, the form is built without React. Okay, it's only use the browser DOM, like it's simple JavaScript. Okay, let's see how things is working here. It's simple H1 and some label and the text box and submit box. If you write something, happy coding, and just submit here. It's loading time and good guess, but the wrong answers. Which city is located on two continent? Which city is located on two continents? Okay, I require to answer this. Okay, which city? I think two continents. Which city? Alaska. Loading, loading, loading. Try again. Wrong answer. Like this thing is happening here, and you appears with the same page. Let's ask this question to my GPT. It's Istanbul in Turkey. Turkey is uniquely located in two components, Europe and Asia. This city is divided by the Bosphorus Strait, with one part lies in Europe and another in Asia, and which making it a transcontinent city. Okay, stable. And when you submit this, it's loading, and that's right. Now, when your answer is correct, that page is not come back. Like whenever you're writing the wrong answer, the page is coming again and again. Okay, like how thing is working, they are using the synchronous and asynchronous. Like whenever the form is submitting, this event prevent the form to submit to the link and disable the text area, disable the button, slow the loading message and hide the error message. And trying to find the answer or the value, show success message, hide message, catch error, then showing the error any kind of the, and then finally hiding the loading, enable the text and things all. And like here, if new promise is here, resolving the rejections and set timeout. In this timeout of 0.5 second, I think. Okay, then answer is loading in the lowercase. If it's similar to this, it's resolve, and if not, then reject and the good guess and the try again message. And by enabling all these things. Okay. That's a simple. You have write this kind of code a lot, and there's a simple way to think about this. Okay. Why it's not opening? Okay, manipulating a UI interactivity. Manipulating the UI impurity working well enough in isolated example. If there is a single example, it's well works well, but it get exponentially more difficult to managing in more complex system. Imagine update a page full of different form like this one. Adding new UI element or new interactions would require careful checking all existing code to make sure you haven't understood a bug. For example, forgetting to show the hide something. React will build to solve this problem. Okay, like it's not, it's just a simple example to work with this, but what if you forget to hiding the some button here, like at the time it's very bad, the user interactions become very worst in this condition. It's a human nature to forgetting to something, but the React is working different. They don't have the directions, they are not working on the signboards, but it's working on the map, just like here. Let's see how thing is working here. In React, you don't directly manipulating the UI, meaning you don't enable, disable, show, hide component directly. Instead, you declare what you want to show, and React figures out how to update the UI. Think of getting into a taxi and telling the driver where you want to go, instead telling about the directions and take right turn, left turn. Okay, that's become more complex. Like you can't enjoy the ride at that time. You just saying your driver like, driver take a right, take a U-turn. Oh shit, driver, I have to go there. Take a left turn again. This kind of error can be, but driver is proficient in driving. Like in the React, you have to just tell about the destination. I want to go to my college, central college, and that's it. Driver will drive for your car, drive with your car at the central college without asking anything else, and you will enjoy your ride as well. You can complete your task in the car only. Okay, so this kind of time saving and less effort can be done here and works properly. Let's think about this kind of thing. Thinking about UI declaratively, you will see how to implement the form independently above the better understanding how to think in React. You will walk through re-implementing the UI React below. First is identify your component different visual state. Determine what triggers those state changes. Represent the state in memory using the use state. Remove any non-essential state variable. Connect the event handlers to the state to set the state. What's the first? Identify your components. Sorry. Identify your component different visual state. Okay, first step is identify your component different visual state. In computer science, you may hear about state machine. Have you ever? Let me tell about what's that. Begin in one of the several states. If you work with a designer, you may have to see mock-ups from different visual state. React stands at the interactions of design and computer science. So both of these ideas are source of interaction. Okay, both of the ideas are the source of interaction. First, you need to visualize all different states of UI and user might see. Empty form, disable submit button. Typing form, enable submit button. Submitting form, complete, disable, spinner is appear. Success form, thank you, no, not a form. Success with thank you message and show the intent of form. Errors some as typing state and extra error message. Okay, let's see about here. Just like a designer, you will want to mock up or create a mock up or different state before you and logic. For example, here is a mock up for just a visual part of the form. This mock up is controlled by the prop called states with the different values of empty. Okay, let's see about here. I don't know why it's not opening. Like this is your city and export default function form. Its main form is my main component. Okay, form is my main component and is a main component. Then status is empty. For now, the my status forms status is empty, and if the status is success, return that's right, and returning with the component here with the form and the text area. Text area and the break line, then button of submit. In which city there are billboard that turns air into drinking water? When you submit the text area, the form goes where? Uh, yeah. What's happening? It's just a form. If status is equal to success, then say this. You could call the prop anything uh, you like. The naming is not important. Try editing status equals to empty to success. It see the success appears and mockup less quickly and UI becomes your logically, and here is a more flash flashed output prototype of the same component, still controlled by the status prop. Let's see this. Here is a form is a main thing and status is empty. Because actually I'm form, and if the status equals to success, then it show the message here. Okay, I'm sending the form as a city, this heading, text, disabled, status is submitting. Okay, this is a text area, this one, and I'm sending the disabled as a prop, and breaking line and disable the status equals to empty and the status equals to submitting. Okay, make it disabled if the status is equals to submitting. Make it disabled if the status equals to empty and status equal to submitting. Okay, I'm just telling about when they have to disable. For the button, it's just a button, and here's the status that's making all the things. If status equals to error and lastly error with this thing. If my status is error, when it's become true, these things will be run because of this AND operator. We have learned this how thing is working in the and or. In the AND operator, is just working as a if else. But thing is like when the first thing is correct, at that time only the second things will be run, and the second will be my output. If you write here, it's not. Actually, what's happening here? You know what? It's only showing you the message if the correct. Submitting button is only open when it's right. Otherwise, it's always be wrong. Like I don't know how thing is taking the exact answer from which API, but thing is working here. Displaying many visual state at once. If component has lot of visual state, it can convenient to show in one page. Import form with the form JS, and do we are importing anything from anywhere? No. These all are the status empty, typing, submitting, success and error, and Now my status is empty, and if status is success, you are returning this. Otherwise, you are going to return again this. It's all about the how status is coming. This is the one way, and you are controlling every component, every small component like button and text area on the basis of status. Okay, okay, okay. We are just changing the status, and all this thing is working at the yeah. And here is my multiple forms. Now let's learn more about this. What I did. It's taking time. Electron to chromium. Chromium is what is chromium? Do you know? All right, it's done. Start the VS Code. Done. Five 173. Okay. I think it's visible you all. In the app.js. App.jsx. In the asset. Form.jsx. Right. We are calling the form with a different status. Okay, we are calling the form with different status. Okay, and if when and I have used the status is an array, and I use the map function, and status, all the status, single status is coming here, and I'm going to creating a section here. There is a multiple section. Okay, and every section has their own status, like section A, or called section of status of empty, and I'm going to setting the status as what, empty. And when the status is empty, I'm saying that form status empty, form status empty. When the status is empty, when the form status is empty, what happened? Like, I'm taking the status as a props value, and if the form status is empty, I have created a form. I'm creating a form in which there will be a text area. It is disabled. My form is disabled if my status is submitting. Okay, my text area will be disabled if my form is submitting, when the user is creating on the clicked on the first submit button, and when it starts submitting to their uh, destination of the server, at that time my form will be disabled. And when my button is disabled, when the status is empty or the status is submitting. Okay, and my button will and is submitting here. Next is error message. Then the error will be there. When this status is error, the error message will be showing. When the form is okay, everything is going well. And when my status is success, when my status is success, at that time I will show what, that's right. Okay, that's a simple thing. How we are interacting with our own components with the help of the main one. So hope you understand how thing is working here. So let's write the same code again. Export default function form, and I have some props here, and I'm getting the props as an array. Not an array, but it's just mapping. I'm just getting a prop, name of status. Okay, now how I'm going to deal with my prop? Okay, it's like if my prop is like, first of thing, I have to submit my form. I am only going to submitting my form if my prop is successful. If my prop is getting success, if my first prop is getting success here, at that time what I'm going to do, if status is equal to success, at that time I'm going to return all these things. Okay, returning all these things. Otherwise, if my status is not successful, I will return something else. Return my what? Return my on segment. First, let's returning my result like h1 and having what? That's correct. Right. Okay. If my form is submitted and it's successful, then I will show what? That's right. Okay. If my form is not successful, if my what are the condition my form is not successful? The condition can be a empty, form is typing, form is submitting, or the form is successing, or the form getting an error. In that scenario, I am going to submit the form. Again, I'm going to submit the form. Form with my text area. I will be have my text area, and my text area will be disabled in some condition. When my what are the condition when my text area is disabled? The first condition will be like when my status is submitting. Okay, condition when my status is submitting, at that time my text area will be disabled. Submitting, when my status is submitting, my text area will be disabled. Okay, and for my button with name of what? Submit. For my button with content of submit, and this button will be disabled in what condition? In condition like this, when the status is empty, when my status or called text area is empty, at that time empty, or the status is submitting. In this two condition, when my status is empty or the status is submitting, at that time my text area will be, I mean button will be disabled. Okay. Now for the status purpose, if my status is an error, if my status is an any kind of error, I am going to use this, and At that time, I will create a paragraph tag with the message of class name error, and the message will be what? Try again, your answer is wrong. This all are the condition. When my condition is status is empty, at that time my form will not show my submit button. This my button will be disabled at the time. If my status is typing, my button will be here and my button will be enabled. At the time of my form is submitting, my text area will be disabled, my button will be disabled. Okay, and when my form is successed, I will show my message like that's right. When my form is error, when my form has some error, at that time I will show my button and my text area and with my some error message. Okay, hope you learned lot about this. This is all about today. Tomorrow I'm going to start with step 2. Determine what triggers those state change. Okay? From tomorrow I will start with step